So hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel Java Guru Ravi, and I Ravi Khan Sahu welcome you in this new video. So let's get started. So hello everybody, today we are going to start with a video on the topic generics. So first of all we have to understand what is generics. So generics is same as templates in C++, right? So first thing that you should come to know is why generics is required. So in case of Java, generics are required because of the collections. So similar to the STL in C++, Java is having some inbuilt collections, inbuilt data structures in the form of collection framework, and those collection framework classes are available in the java.util package. So in those collections there is some requirement. The requirement is, suppose I am going to create some array. For example, in case of Java, a dynamic array is called as array list in the collections. So if you want to create an array list, so if you create a normal array list, so in the same array list you can add different types of objects. You can add integer also, you can add some double type of value also, you can add some string type of value also, even you can add an employee object also, you can add a student object also, you can add an animal object also. So this can create some inconsistency. This is called as unchecked or unsafe operation. For example, you have created an array list and you were expecting that all the objects will be of integer type and you will be simply performing the add operation. You can do that if all the values are of integer type. But suppose somebody has added some string type of value 1, 2, 3, hello, 5. So what will be the output if you perform the operation of adding 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus hello? Plus hello will become concatenated, 7 hello ho jayega. Yes or no? And then again, so it is unsafe operation. This is called as unsafe operation, and here you will not come to know if something wrong has happened with your program. So that's why in Java, generics concept was introduced in JDK 5. So generics says that, okay, what is generics? Generics is creating the variable type of parameters in the class. Means generics class is a class with type parameters. So let us understand with the example here. Let's say I have created a class bank account, right? And generally till now you might have created the attributes of the class in this manner. Let's say for example, this name attribute is of string type, balance attribute is of int type, rate of interest attribute is of double type, and I have created one method here, deposit, which is of integer type parameter, and it will add the amount into the balance. So this is a normal class that you are habitual of writing. But what is the problem here is, let's say I am going to create the object of bank account class. So I will be getting the name as string type, balance is integer type, rate of interest is of double type. I say no, I am not happy with that. I want to have my balance also of double type. Why? Because when the rate of interest will be applied, so maybe my overall balance will be a floating point value. So I am not happy with this class. I want to have balance of float type or double type here. But this class will not allow you. Similarly, the other person may say, okay, I want the rate of interest of int type. I don't want to have a floating point value of rate of interest. I want to have integer, flat integer value of rate of interest. So it will not be possible here. What I mean to say is, all the objects of this class will have the same type of balance, same type of rate of interest, same type of name, because it is fixed type. This is fixed type here. String is a fixed type, integer fixed type, double is a fixed type. So every object of this class will have these type of values only. So generics allows you that you can create variable type. You can make these things variable. So how you can make these things variable? Using the concept of generics. So here what we do here is we use the concept of type parameter, right? The concept of type parameter. What is type parameter? Again here we have some convention that type parameters must be uppercase character, but again it is just a convention. You can use any character, lowercase, uppercase. Otherwise byte generally you might have seen T, E, U, V, all these kind of type parameters. But it doesn't mean you cannot create A, B, C. This is also allowed. You can create A1, B1, T1 in this way. So it can be a valid identifier. It cannot be 1A. Valid identifier must not start with number. Right? So you can use anyone, but convention is कि uppercase should be there. Right? So now coming back to this class. In this class, let's say I want to make the user. Why I will create a generic class? When I want to allow the user to decide what type the user wants for a particular attribute. So what I will say here is, okay, I want to give the flexibility in the name. Do you want to have the flexibility in the name? No. Name is string type for everybody. Nobody will say that my name should be of integer type. Right? So in the name I will say no, there is no flexibility required here. I can go with a string type. So this is okay. I will not make it variable type. Is it clear? Now balance. Do you want to have some flexibility in the balance? Yes. Somebody may be saying that my balance should be integer type. Somebody may say my balance should be of double type. So I'll say it should not be fixed to int. Let us make it a variable. So what I'll say? I'll give some type parameter here. So let's say I have given some type parameter A. Is it okay? So A is a type parameter here. Right? Now second one is rate of interest. Now rate of interest, do you want to write double? No. I want to give the user the flexibility. Do you want to have some choice in the rate of interest type also? If you say yes, you will make it a variable type. If you want to say that rate of interest must be always of double type, you will say okay, it has to be of double type only. So let's say I want to give the choice to the user. So I'll say okay, here also give some variable B. Right? So in this class, now how many parameters you are using? How many type parameters you are using? A and B. Right? Two variable types you are using. So generic class when you declare, so first of all you will see what are the different variables you are using, and in the angular bracket just after the name of the class you have to put the angular bracket and you have to mention all those variable types here. Is it clear? If you have used only one, so you will write 1. If you have used 2, you have to write all 2 in any order. It is not like A is written first, so A should be written here first. No. It can be of any order. You can write like this. This is your generic class. Now, again here you can see my balance is of A type. So what type of amount you will receive for deposit? Again here it will also be A. So you can ensure that whatever type of balance you are having, the same type of amount you will receive. So AA, this is common. This is your method. Fine. So this is how you will create a generic class. Simple hai. First of all, identify what are the attributes you want to make variable. Now there can be another scenario where you can say, sir, what I want to ensure here is whatever type of balance it is, the same type of rate of interest should be there. Do you want to have this kind of restriction? If you want to have this kind of restriction, so you will say A here also. When I say A here also, it means if your balance is of integer type, so rate of interest will also be integer type because A is the same type. But if you want to have the choice over there, you want to give the flexibility that balance can be of some other type and rate of interest can also be of the other type, so you can give here another type, right? But if you give the same type, then both will be of the same type. So when you feel that both must be of same type, then you will use the same type parameter. If you feel that may be different also, give different type parameters, right? And all of them must be mentioned here. So this is your generic class. Now what is the benefit here? Let us come to the instantiation. Now I want to create maybe user 1 want to create the object of this class. So what they will be writing? In the conventional manner you will be writing like this: bank account B1 is equal to new bank account. You will write something like this. Now if your class is generic, and you are using this conventional object creation code, it will give you a warning. It will say unchecked or unsafe operation, recompile with -excellent, right? It simply means this is a warning, although you can continue without taking care of that warning, but you may face some issue at the runtime, right? So this is the warning because your class is generic and you are creating the object without telling the type of B and A, right? Here you are using B and A as a variable type. It means whenever anybody will use the object of this class, so it will specify what is the type A and what is the type B in this order. The order in which it is written, in the same order you have to supply the actual type. So there are two concepts. One is called as eraser. In generics there is a concept called as eraser. What is eraser? When you will compile this code, after compilation all these A and B are erased. Compiler will replace all these A and B with the actual types, right? What is actual type? Here A, it will check, do you have any bounds here? That is, there is a concept of bounded types. So here there is no A and B bounds, so it will be replacing it by object type. B is also not having any bound, so it will be replaced by object type. So after compilation all A, B are replaced by the object type, right? Now when you will create the object of this class bank account with this parameter, so it will allow all kinds of objects because A and B are replaced by the object type. Means anybody can create the object of bank account with balance as dog is an object, and rate of interest as cow. This is allowed. Why? Because you have not specified the type of B and A. So to resolve this warning, what JDK 5 onwards, what is expected here is that when you create the object of your generic class, you must specify the type of those parameters in the same order. So for example, how you specify? You will have to use the angular bracket here, and here you have to give the two parameters in the same order. So let's say, now one more important thing, that every type parameter is always replaced by the class type. It cannot be replaced by int and double, right? It can be replaced only by the class type. And you know that for every primitive data type there is a class, wrapper class, right? So if you want to make the first type of int type, so you will write integer, right? You don't write int. If you write int, it will give you a compilation error. Okay? So here I am going to write, let's say I am writing here float, and here I will write integer. So now tell me, what will be the type of balance here? If I have created the object in this, I will come back to this thing. but for the time being I am just asking, I am passing a float and integer. So what will be the type of your balance? Balance will be of which type? A type. A is the second parameter. The second parameter I am passing is integer, because you can see BA. So A value is integer. So everywhere where you have written A, it will be replaced by integer. Right? Similarly, U2, second user has created the object like this, bank account. He has written integer, comma double, B2 is equal to new bank account. So now what will happen for user 2? What will be the type of balance? For user 2, balance is of A type. A is replaced by double. So for second user, now you can see the beauty of generics. For the first user, balance is of integer type. For the second user, balance is of double type. For the first user, the rate of interest is of float type, whereas for the second user, the rate of interest is of integer type. So this is what the beauty of generics. Same class, but different objects can have different types. This is called as parameterized type, a type parameters. Right? Now coming back to this, again when in JDK 1.5 or JDK 5 generics was introduced, so the syntax for object creation was like this. You need to write something like this: bank account, and here the type that you want to use. Let's say you write here integer and double, then reference variable b1 is equal to new bank account, and again here you need to write the type parameter. When JDK 1.5 this generics was introduced, so you have to write the type parameters in both the places. Here again you need to write integer and double. Right? So this was a tedious task. Writing the same thing twice was a tedious task. So later on, I think with JDK 1.7, this restriction has been removed, and you have got the concept of this. This is called as type inference diamond. What is type inference diamond? Type inference diamond says that while creating the object, if you have already written the type parameters on the left side, then in the right side you can only write angular bracket without mentioning the types. Means now with the type inference diamond, the same code is written like this: bank account. Here you have to mention the type. Let's say I am writing double comma integer, b1 is equal to new bank account. Here I can only write the diamond. This is called as type inference diamond. Here it is optional to write the actual types. Right? You can write, that is also acceptable, but you can skip it also. But only when on the left side it is already specified. Vice versa is true. Means left side is blank and right side you are writing, no, it will give you problem. Right? So this is the type inference diamond also. Right? There are so many other things in the generics also, bounded types, wildcard, but as of now you can understand the concept of generic class. Why generic class? What is the benefit? You have seen that when you create a generic class, so for the same class multiple objects can have different types for the same set of attributes. Right? And this is your type inference diamond. So that's all about the generic class in Java. Thank you.
So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you find this video useful, so please like, subscribe and share with all of your friends so that they can also get benefited. Ravikant Sahu signing off. Thank you.